My coworker said I only got promoted because I'm a woman, until HR called us both into a meeting and pulled up his performance reviews. Brandon had been running his mouth for weeks. At team lunches, he'd lean back in his chair and announce that diversity hires were ruining merit-based advancement. In the break room, he'd tell anyone who'd listen that my promotion to senior analyst was just the company filling quotas. No offense, he'd always add, like that made it better. I'm just saying what everyone's thinking. What Brandon didn't know was that I'd been documenting everything. Every dismissive comment during presentations when he'd talk over me. Every time he took credit for my analysis in client meetings. Every condescending email where he'd explain basic concepts I'd mastered years ago. I kept a spreadsheet with dates, times, and witnesses. My dad always said, let them underestimate you, then bury them with facts. The morning HR called us both in, Brandon strutted into the conference room like he was about to receive an award. He actually winked at me. Our manager, Patricia, sat beside the HR director, her expression unreadable. We've received complaints about workplace conduct, the director began. Brandon nodded eagerly. Yeah, I wanted to talk about favoritism in recent promotions. Patricia slid a folder across the table. Let's discuss performance metrics instead. She opened to Brandon's reviews from the past 2 years. Client satisfaction scores, revenue generation, project completion rates. Every metric was mediocre or below target. Then she pulled up mine. Top performer in every category. I'd brought in 4 major accounts in 18 months. My client retention rate was 96%. Brandon's face went pale. That doesn't tell the whole story, he stammered. I handle the difficult clients. Patricia clicked to another screen. Emails from clients specifically requesting to work with me instead of Brandon. One CEO had written, Brandon lacks the analytical depth we require. We'd prefer to continue with someone competent. Another had complained about his unprofessional conduct during a presentation where he'd shown up unprepared. Let's address the promotion criteria, the HR director said calmly. She listed every requirement. Advanced certifications, check. Leadership experience, check. Peer recommendations, I had 11. Brandon had none. Strategic thinking assessments, I scored in the 94th percentile. Brandon barely passed. Your promotion was based entirely on merit, she said, looking directly at me. Then she turned to Brandon. Your comments about diversity hires and gender-based advancement constitute harassment. I watched him shrink in his chair. I was just joking around, he muttered. Everyone talks like that. Patricia shook her head. We interviewed 15 coworkers. Most were horrified by your behavior. A few were afraid to report it. She pulled out my documentation, pages of incidents, all corroborated by witnesses or email trails. The evidence was overwhelming. Brandon tried one last defense. This is a witch hunt. She's just sensitive. The HR director's expression hardened. Being held accountable for workplace harassment isn't a witch hunt. It's consequences. They offered him a choice, resign immediately with a neutral reference, or face formal termination proceedings that would go on his permanent record. He chose resignation, effective immediately. As he gathered his things that afternoon, the office was silent. People who'd laughed at his jokes now avoided eye contact. The ones who'd stayed quiet gave me small nods of solidarity. My closest friend Brittany whispered, I should have backed you up sooner. I'm sorry. I appreciated that more than she knew. 6 months later, I'm running the entire analytics department. I implemented new mentorship programs and zero-tolerance harassment policies. We've hired 8 analysts this year, 4 women, 4 men, all exceptional. Last week, I got an email from Brandon's new employer asking for a reference. I told them the truth and attached the documentation. They rescinded his offer. Some people never learn, but I sleep just fine.